Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Be Rich, and this is Grandpa's Magic. Watched earlier, you know that this show was coming today. We've got two Ikoria pre-release packs. The wife and I are going to roll to see who gets to pick which pack first. I 6.
I guess
You also get 6. Okay, well, let's re-roll. I got a 4.
I got another 6.
Okay, well, you get to pick which pack you want to crack. Good, because I wanted this one. Everything works out. So, I will be going through the cards as I crack mine, and then once all the packs have been cracked on both sides, I'll go through her cards and see what we got. Alright, we'll pull out. Don't show off anything. I wonder if they're all white, because that's all I've seen so far. Okay. Now, take the rest of that off of that camera. Yeah, don't show that. Yeah, no. That's exactly what I didn't want on camera. So I was like, take everything off camera. All right. Now, we've got some keyword counters. We have flying, indestructible, death touch, another flying, vigilance, another indestructible, double strike, first strike, hexproof, lifelink, double strike, and trample. Hello, Nisa, interrupting cat. Just knew you were going to interrupt the video today. We're going to save and look at. Oh, we're going to save and look at these at the end. All right. Well, 3 of these and 3 of those artworks. All right. On to pack 1. Phase Dolphin. 2 in a blue. You get a 1/4 elemental whale. When it attacks, another target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. That's good. Pyroceratops. 3 in a red for a 2/3 elemental dinosaur with trample. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Pyroceratops. Ram through. 1 in a green for an instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Flycatcher Giraffid. 4 in a green for a 3/5. Antelope Lizard. Flycatcher Giraffid enters the battlefield with your choice of a vigilance counter or a reach counter on it. Pacifism. 1 in a white for an enchantment aura. An enchanted creature can't attack or block. Nisa, no, you cannot be on the table. I'm sorry.
Silly kitty.
Blitterspit Gremlin. 1 red for a 1/1. You pay 1 and tap, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, untap the Gremlin. Not too bad. Essence Scatter. 1 in a blue for an instant counter target creature spell. Counters are bad, people. Don't play them. Night Squad Commando. 2 in a black for a 2/3 human soldier. When Night Squad Commando enters the battlefield, if you attack this turn, create a 1/1 white human creature or human soldier creature token. Plummet. 1 in a green for an instant. Destroy target creature with flying. Flourishing Fox. 1 in a white or 1 white for a 1/1 fox. Whenever you cycle another card, put a +1/+1 counter on Flourishing Fox. It also has cycling for 1. Avian Oddity. 3 in a blue for 2/4 flying. Cycling for 2 in a blue. It says when you cycle Avian Oddity, put a flying counter on target creature you control. Ketria Crystal. a 3-drop artifact. Tap, add green, blue, or red to your mana pool, and it has cycling for 2. And the rare is Indatha Triome. Is a land, has plains, swamp, and forest. It enters the battlefield. Tap, it has cycling for 3. So the Abzan Triome land, not too shabby. Ivy Elemental, X and a green for a 0/0 elemental. It enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Nice and foil. Love me some foils. And we got a Blossoming Sands, ETBs, tap, and you gain a life. And then we get a 1/1 Human Soldier token. Not too bad. That land will definitely see play in a lot of decks. If I still had Saskia, it'd have gone there first, but I no longer have Saskia. I donated Saskia to a friend of mine. All their cards had been stolen, and I was like, here, have one of my decks. So this pack will start us off with a Frost Lynx. For 2 and a blue, you get a 2/2 elemental cat. When it ETBs, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature does not untap during its controller's next untap step. I like it. Tentative Connection. 3 and a red, you get a sorcery. The spell costs 3 less to cast if you control a creature with menace. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. I always love me a good snatch and grab. And for 4 mana, it's not bad. But if you got something that has menace and then you can cast this for 1, even better. I like it. Fully Grown. For 2 and a green, instant target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Put a trample counter on it. It's not too shabby. Might actually run 1 or 2 of them in my Modern Infect. Trample and Infect is always a good combination. Unlikely Aid, 1 in the black for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. Blood Curdle, 3 in a black, you get an instant. Destroy target creature. Put a menace counter on a creature you control. That's pretty nice. Plummet again, blow up a flyer. Andrena Healer, 1 in a white for a human cleric. That's a 2/2. Whenever you cycle another card, you gain a life. And it has cycling for 1. Heightened Reflexes is a red for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Put a first strike counter on it. That's not too shabby. Aegis Turtle, 1 blue for a 0/5 turtle. That's it. Nothing Teenage or Mutant about that. Unexpected Fangs, 1 in the black for an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter and a lifelink counter on target creature. That's really good. For a 2-drop instant, I like it. Majestic Auricorn, for 4 and a white, you get a 4/4 with Vigilance. Whenever this creature mutates, you gain 4 life, and it has Mutate for 3 and a white. Not too bad. I like the Mutate mechanic. Savai Thundermane, for red and a white, we get a 3/2 elemental cat. Whenever you cycle card, you may pay 2. When you do, Savai Thundermane deals 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life. That's not too bad. Ivy Elemental, we already know what that does. And the rare is Frondland Felidar. For 2 green and a white, you get a 3/5 cat beast with Vigilance. Creatures you control with Vigilance have pay 1, tap target creature. Now this probably will get put in the cat deck. Then we got a Swamp and a Nothing token. And we got Snare Tactician, 2 to white for a 2/3. Whenever you cycle a card, tap target creature and opponent controls. That's not too bad. If you're into the whole cycling thing, Jeskai cycling is a big thing right now. Being red, white, and blue cycling. Of 1 mind, 2 in a blue for a sorcery. This spell costs 2 less to cast if you control a human creature and a non-human creature. Draw 2 cards. Not too bad. Blue humans, you probably almost have to be splashed into another color to get a human in blue, I think. Not too many blue humans. Lava Serpent, 5 and a red for a 5/5 elemental serpent. with haste. Cycling 2. Almighty Brushwag. 1 green for a 1/1. Brushwag. Trample. You pay 3 and a green, and it gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Mutual Destruction. You pay black for a sorcery. The spell has flash as long as you control a permanent with flash. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sack a creature, destroy target creature. It's a lot of words. Has flash as long as you control a permanent with flash. Why didn't it just make it an instant? Don't worry about that part. Light of Hope. 1 white for an instant. Choose 1. You gain 4 life. Destroy target enchantment. Or put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Rumbling Rock Slide. 3 and a red for a sorcery. Deals damage equal to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. It can be pretty decent in late game, you know. Another Aegis Turtle. Boop. Mysterious Egg. 1 colorless for a 0/2 colorless creature. Whenever this creature mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Corpse Churn. 1 in a black for an instant. Put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Charge of the Forever Beast. 2 in a green. As an additional cost to cast the spell, reveal a creature card from your hand. Charge of the Forever Beast deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the revealed card's power. Pretty sneaky. Valiant Rescuer. 1 in a white for a 3/1 human soldier. Whenever you cycle another card for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Also has cycling for 2. Neo Panther. 1 black white for a 3/3 cat nightmare. Has mutate for 2. Orzhov. Whenever this creature mutates, return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Very nice. Like it. Awesome value. And then Unpredictable Cyclone. Blech. 3 in a red for an enchantment. If a cycling ability of another non-land card would cause you to draw a card, instead, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a card that shares a card type with the cycled card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then put the exile cards that weren't cast this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. Also has cycling too. I mean, if you're into the whole just guys cycling thing, sure, that would be a neat little, thing. Not necessarily my cup of tea, I don't think. Windscarred Crag. Another human soldier. Really?
Nice, Lisa. Nice.
Really? Forbidden Friendship. 1 and a red for a sorcery. Create a 1/1 red dinosaur creature token with haste and a 1/1 white human soldier token. Solid Footing. 1 white for 1 white, not 1 and a white, for a flash. Enchantment or a enchanted creature gets +1/+1. As long as the enchanted creature has vigilance, it assigns its combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So it cares about vigilance and big butts. Frostlynx, we know what that is. Ferglid, 2 in a green for a 0/0 elemental, enters the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters on it. Pay 1 in a green, remove a counter, and target player searches their library for a basic land card, puts it on the battlefield, tap, and shuffles their library. So technically, you could pay to have somebody else rank if you want, but why? Serradiant Scorpion, 1 drop for a black 1/2 Scorpion. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent and gain 2 life. Not too bad. Hampering Snare, 1 and a blue for an instant. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-0 until end of turn. Also has cycling for 2. Blood Curdle. We've already been through Blood Curdle. Thwart the enemy, 2 in green. Prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn by creatures your opponents control. Tagia Tiger, 4 and a white for a 3/4 cat flying. Enters the battlefield. Target human you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Heightened Reflexes. We've already been through that. Primal Empathy. 1 in a green and a blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if you control a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield. Otherwise, put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control. I like this. It's a very good card. Very strong. Polywog Symbiote. 1 in the blue for a 1/3 frog. The alternate version of this is Baby Godzilla. Each creature spell you cast costs 1 less to cast if it has Mutate. Whenever you cast a creature spell, if it has Mutate, draw a card, then discard a card. It's an okay card. Back for more. 4 green black for an instant. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. When you do, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Pretty good. Gigantha, the Wellspring. 4 and a Gruul, so either red or green, for a 5/5 legendary elemental elk. It has Companion. No card in your starting deck has more than 1 of the same mana symbol in its mana cost. Or you can just play it without its companion ability. And it has a tap ability. Tap, add Wooburg to your mana pool. This mana cannot be spent to pay generic mana costs. So, it is slightly restrictive. I'd probably play in a Kenrith deck if I built Kenrith. Now, we have 2 of them, so I probably could. He has abilities that the mana can be spent on. So, it's not a bad card. It's a bad card. Another Swamp and another nothing token. Beg them. Slowly but surely. Glimmerbell, 1 of the blue for a 1/3 creature. Elemental jellyfish with flying. Pay 1 of the blue, untap Glimmerbell. Pyroceratops, we've already been through that. Main Serval, 1 of the white for a 1/4 cat with vigilance. Gust of Wind, 3 in a blue for a sorcery. Costs 2 less to cast if you got a creature with flying. Return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Not bad. Does a lot. 4 mana is not bad. Could be for 2 mana, even better. Fertilid, been through that. Blitz Leech, 5 and a black for a 5/2 Leech with flash. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Remove all counters from that creature. Ooh. Kind of pricey though. 6 mana. Adaptive Shimmerer, 5 colorless for a 0/0 with flash insect. It enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Pulled one of those earlier, and I was just like, if it had been like 3 or 4 mana, I might play it. 5 mana is just too much for a 3/3 with flash. Crustacean, it's a 3 and a blue for a 1/6 crab with flash. That's it. It's a flashy crab. So a flashy crab. I want to get one of these all arted with the giant crab from Moana. Yes.
That'd work.
Yes. There's another crab card that I think would work for it too as all art.
Are you gonna put Maui's hook on his back? Or
I mean, it would have to be. It would have to be. Fire Prophecy. 1 in the red for an instant deals 3 damage to target creature. You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. If you do, draw a card. Very strong. For red, Savai Sabertooth, 1 in a white for a 3/1 cat. That's it. No abilities. Sonorous Howlbonder, 1 Rakdos for a 2/2 human warrior with menace. Each creature you control with menace can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures instead of 2 or more creatures. Yeah. It's not too shabby. Making you have to use 3 creatures to block a menace creature. Zagoth Crystal, it's a 3-drop artifact. Add black, green, or blue for cycling with 2 as well. Boon of the Wish Giver, 4 blue for a sorcery. Draw 4 cards. Also has cycling for 1. By the way, for those of you who don't know what cycling is, you pay 1, discard this card, draw a card. That can be done at instant speed. It can be done anytime, can't be countered. It just happens. You discard the card, you pay whatever it costs to discard it, and then you draw another card. So, Inspired Ultimatum. The worst of all the ultimatums. Blue, blue, red, 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 white, white. For a sorcery that says target player gains 5 life. Inspired Ultimatum deals 5 damage to any target, then you draw 5 cards. For 7 mana, it should have been at least 7/7/7. Booty. Jungle Hollow. 1/1 dinosaur with haste. Last pack. Come on. Can we get Brokos this time? Can I pull a Brokos out of this pack?
It's gonna be all in mine.
Yeah, probably. I haven't even gotten an all art card yet, which is weird because I cracked 4 packs earlier and got 3. Frost Links to start us off. We've been there, done that. Ferocious Tigerilla. I figured you'd like the name of that, Tigerilla. It's a 3 and a red for a 4/3 cat ape. When it enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield with your choice of a trample counter or menace counter on it. You want to look at it? You want to take a look at that picture? Look at that. Look at what a cat ape looks like.
That looks like a Gishwiz got a hold of the guys at Wizards.
Perimeter Sergeant, 2 and a white for a 3/2 human soldier. When it attacks other humans you control, get +1/+0 until turn. Phase Dolphin, been there. Humble Naturalist, 1 and a green for a 1/3 human druid. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. Mutual Destruction, we've already been through that. Savai Sabertooth, been there. Migratory Greathorn, 3 and a green for a 3/4 beast. Mutate for 2 and a green. Whenever this creature mutates, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. By the way, mutate, for those that don't know, you can only mutate onto a non-human creature. So, but you mutate either on top of or underneath the creature you're mutating with. We'll get to that in another point. Gloom Pangolin, 2 and a black for a 1/5 Nightmare Pangolin. I don't know what a pangolin is. It doesn't have any other abilities.
I know what one is.
It looks like one of those amoeba-like things.
It's the source of all our problems right now.
A virus?
Yes, because they were eating pangolins. It was not a bat.
Swallow Hole, 1 white for sorcery. As additional cost to cast it, tap an untapped creature you control. Exile target tapped creature. Put a 1/1 counter on the creature tapped to pay this spell's additional cost. Why, Wizards, would you word it in such a
wordy, messed up way?
Man. Rooting Moloch, 4 and a red for a 4/4 lizard. Enters the battlefield. Exile target card with a cycling ability from your graveyard until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. And it also has cycling too. That's not too bad, I guess. Chittering Harvester. I really like this card. This is probably in the top 3 of my favorite mutate cards so far. 5 and a black for a 4/6 Nightmare. You can mutate 4 and a black. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent sacrifices a creature. I love it. Love it.
And of course, you're going to use it to your advantage.
Of course. That's the only way you're supposed to use it. Savai Triome. You got a land that is a mountain, plain, swamp. So we've got the Abzan land and the Mardu land. And with foil, we have Death's Oasis. Green, black, white, or white, black, green. For an enchantment, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then return a creature card with lesser converted mana costs than the creature that died from your graveyard to your hand. You pay 1, sacrifice Death's Oasis. You gain life equal to the greatest converted mana cost among creatures you control. I'm not a big fan of it. I feel like it should have been black, green, blue, not white, in my honest opinion. But It's
Like
the life gain is
convoluted.
where the white comes in, and it's just like. So, we got 2 of the Triome lands and this Giganta, which I'm pretty happy with. I'm fairly happy with all that.
So do you want me to open them and then just hand the pack to you, or do you want me to read it off?
You can open them and then hand them to me. That way you get to crack them. You know. I figured I'd do all the reading.
Can I peek?
Yeah, you get to look through the cards first. That's all I'm saying. I guess I'll just Okay, so this one's going to be Prickly Marmoset. You can go ahead and crack the next one. That way you can be ready and whatnot. Prickly Marmoset. 2 in a red for a 2/3 monkey. First strike. Whenever you cycle a card, Prickly Marmoset gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Spontaneous Flight. 2 in a white for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Put a flying counter on it. Startling Development, 1 of the blue for an instant. Until your next turn, target creature, until end of turn, not your next turn, I'm sorry. Target creature becomes a blue serpent with base power, toughness 4/4. Also has cycling for 1. Forbidden Friendship, we've been there. Almighty Brushwag. Cavern Whisperer, 4 in a black for a 4/4 nightmare. Mutates for 3 in a black. It has Menace. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent discards a card. I really like that card too. I like all the mutate cards though. So, Humble Naturalist, not too bad. Mutual Destruction, Adaptive Shimmerer, Crustacean, the Flashy Crab, Monstrous Step, 4 and a green for a sorcery. Target creature gets +7/+7 until end of turn. Up to 1 other target creature blocks it this turn available. Cycling for 2. That's pretty dangerous. Cunning Nightbonder, Demir for 2/2 with Flash. Spells with Flash you can cast cost 1 less to cast and can't be countered. This is pretty strong if you're going Flash Tribal. Lead the Stampede, 2 in green. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of creature cards from among them and put the reveal cards into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And the rare is Kahira, the Orphan Guard. 1 Selesnya for a 3/2 cat beast. Has companion. Each creature card in your starting deck is a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast card. It has vigilance, and each other creature you control that's a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast gets +1/+1 and has vigilance. Not too shabby. I may have to bust down the cats, the non-cat creatures in it, to make this a companion for the cat deck. Maybe. Just the fact that you can have 101st card in Commander is beyond nutty. Tentative Collection. We've already been through that. Solid Footing. We've been there. Frostveil Ambush. 3 and a blue, 2 blue for an instant. Tap up to 2 target creatures. They don't untap during the controller's next unstep step with cycling for 1. Mutual Destruction. We've seen it. Humble Naturalist. Raking Claws. 1 in red for an instant. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Has cycling for 2. Evolving Wilds. Blah. Memory Leak. 2 in a black for a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from that player's graveyard or hand and exile it. Cycling for 1. Uh-oh. Wife's over there laughing. Essence Scatter. 1 in blue for a counter that should be burnt. Greater Sandworm. 5 and 2 green for a 7/7 worm. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. It has cycling for 2. Void Beckoner. 6 and 2 black for an 8/8 Nightmare Horror Death Touch, cycling 2 and a black. When you cycle Void Beckoner, put a Death Touch counter on target creature you control. Now, this is the card that has the alternate version of it that they had printed some of, and then were trying to get them all back. That had it's the alternate name was Death Corona. Yeah, so and then the thing happened, and they're like, "Oh, we have to get as many of these." Of course, they couldn't get them all back. Obviously, there's some that are out there, and they're pretty expensive.
What was the name of the card that you wanted?
Brokos.
Okay.
Brokkos.
Okay.
Although any of the legendary mutate creatures are going to be beyond phenomenal for tracking. I'm not going to complain. Momentum Rumbler, 3 and a red for a 3/3 dinosaur. Whenever it attacks, if it doesn't have first strike, put a first strike counter on it. Whenever Momentum Rumbler attacks, if it has first strike, it gains double strike until end of turn. It's pretty neat. It's worded weird, but I like it. Flame Spell, 2 and a red for an instant, deals 4 damage to target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. I really like that as a burn player. Mythos of Aluna, yes. This is going into the Animar deck all day. 2 and a blue for sorcery. It says create a token that's a copy of target permanent. If green and black, or if green and red were also spent to cast this spell, instead create a token that's a copy of that permanent, except the token has, when this permanent enters the battlefield, if it's a creature, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. I feel like it's very strong, very sought after. Okay, next. This. Okay. Prickly Marmoset. Helica Glider, 2 and a white for a 2/2. Enters the battlefield choice with a flying counter or first strike counter for a Nightmare Squirrel. Nightmare Squirrel. Did you see this Nightmare Squirrel?
Mm-hmm. You saw me chuckling over here for multiple of the cards.
Capture Sphere. We all know what Capture Sphere does. Lava Serpent. We've been there. Mutual Destruction. We have got more of those than I care to have. Fully Grown. We've seen that. Durable Coil Bug. For 1 of the black, you get a 2/2 insect. Pay 4 and a black, return it from your graveyard to your hand. Bristling Boar, it's a 4/3 for 4, can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. I always like Bristling Boar. Blazing Volley, yes, works freaking wonders in Brawl with Torbrand as your commander, because they have, a bunch of, 3/3s or whatnot out. You sit there, Torbrand says your red spells deal 2 plus whatever damage to it. Whatever, Blazing Volley, for 1 red. 1 solitary single red. Sorcery, deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. So that turns 1 damage into 3 damage to each creature your opponents control. That's a lightning bolt for everybody. Here's a lightning bolt. You get a lightning bolt. You get a lightning bolt. For the cost of 1 lightning bolt. I really like it. It's one of my favorite cards. Sanctuary Lockdown, 2 and a white for an enchantment. Humans you control get +1/+1. You pay 2, tap 2 untap humans you control. Tap target creature and opponent controls. Weaponize the Monsters. 1 drop enchantment for red. You pay 2, sacrifice a creature, and when weaponize the monster deals 2 damage to any target. Ivy Elemental. And Titan's Nest. 1 black, green, blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card in your graveyard, exile a card from your graveyard, add colorless. Spend this mana only to cast a colored spell without X in its mana cost. And the foil is a mountain plant. It's the Mardu foil land. Ooh. Now we got two of them, but 1's foil. Yay! Next starts us off with a Pyroceratops. We've seen that. Maned Saval. We've seen that. Gust of Wind. We've seen that. Cavern Whisperer. Let's mutate the discard card. We've seen it. Humble Naturalist. Night Squad Commando. We've seen it. Flycatcher Giraffe. Weird name. Light of Hope. Seen It Rumbling Rockside. Aegis Turtle. Majestic Oricorn. 4/4 for 5. Mutates for 4 with Vigilance. Whenever it mutates, you gain 4 life. Neutralize. Counter target spell. Blue. Escape Protocol. 1 of the blue for an enchantment. Whenever you cycle a card, you may pay 1. When you do, exile target artifact or creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So it's kind of another Astral Drift-esque type effect. Like, those decks didn't need another Astral Drift effect. Why? Mythos of Snapbacks, 2 and 2 white for a sorcery. Each player chooses an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker from among non-land permanents they control, then sacrifices the rest. If black and red was split to cast the spell, you choose the permanents for each player instead. Yes, it's a very nasty board wipe. I love it. Blossoming Sands and a human soldier token.
Let's see if you can see what I was laughing at.
Thieving Otter. I swear to God, there better not be another Lutri in this. Thieving Otter. 2 and a blue for a 2/2. When it deals damage to an opponent, draw a card. Go for Blood. 1 in red for a sorcery. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. It also has cycling for 1. Spontaneous Flight. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Put a flying counter on it. Serrated Scorpion. We've seen it. Ram through. We've seen that. Flycatcher Giraffe. Light of Hope. Rumbling Rockslide. Aegis Turtle. Mysterious Egg. Sprite Dragon. Red-blue for a 1/1 Flying Haste Fairy Dragon. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Sprite Dragon. I really like it. Channel Force, 2 blue-red for an instant. As an additional cost to cast it, discard X cards. Target player draws X cards. Channel Force deals X damage to up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. That'll probably go in cast. Probably. Splendor Mare, 2 and a white for a 3/3 Elk Unicorn with lifelink. Cycling for 1 and a white. Whenever you cycle Splendor Mare, put a lifelink counter on target creature you control. And it's Shark Typhoon. It's the Sharknado. 5 and a blue for an enchantment. That says, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. Now, however, most people are like, wow, you're going to pump out a lot of shark tokens. That's not how most people play this card. Do you want to know how most people play this card? They play it for its cycling ability in mid to late game for 1 really big shark token that can't be countered. Because cycling can't be countered. They just pay 1 blue and X into however big, and they can do it at instant speed. They can make that shark token on your attack. See what I'm saying? That's what most people use it for.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Sharknado they definitely jumped the shark on that card.
Just a bit.
Spell Eater Wolverine, 2 and a red for a 3/2 Wolverine. Spell Eater Wolverine has double strike as long as there are 3 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard. Not too shabby. The Shuyin deck might like that. Probably. Okay. It's no longer Shuyin, it's Elsha now, but Shuyin's in the 99. Elsha allows me to cast my non-creature spells off the top of my library at flash speed. So why wouldn't I make her the commander? Helica Glider, the Nightmare Squirrel is back. Frostlynx, that is such a pretty kitty. Ferocious Tigerilla, that's a scary kitty. Dark Bargain, 3 and a black for an instant. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 2 in your hand and the other in your graveyard. Yep, and it deals 2 damage to you. Yeah, it's a reprint from Dominaria, I believe. It's a really good card. I like it. Survivor's Bond, 1 and a green for a sorcery. Choose 1 or both. Return target human creature card from your graveyard to hand, or return target non-human creature card from your graveyard to hand. And or. It's 1 or both. Unlikely Aid, Bristling Boar, Suffocating Fumes, 2 in the black for an instant. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end turn. You can also cycle for 2. Dreamtail Heron, 4 in a blue for a 3/4 flyer. Whenever it mutates, draw a card. You can mutate for 3 in a blue. Primal Empathy, another one of those. We've already had that. Avian Oddity, we've seen that. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor, 1 in a red for an instant. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the number of instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it instead. And Karuga, the Macro Sage. You have to say Karuga with that accent. You have to. It's a mandatory. You have to do it. 3 Simic for a 5/4 legendary creature, Dinosaur Hippo with Companion. Your starting deck contains only cards with CMC 3 or greater and land cards. Sadly, you have to abide by color identity, or else this would definitely be a companion for my L. Sadly, that blue makes it impossible. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with CMC 3 or greater. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. Scarab Barons. And some more tokens. That is very weird. You see the thick difference? Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, these came in the kit itself. This, I didn't realize that these would be in the packs themselves. They're definitely a thinner quality. If I'm going to use them, I'm definitely going to use the better quality ones.
Right.
Obviously.
Okay.
This is Offering's Revenge. 2 red, white, black for an enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile target red, white, or black creature card from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 1/1. It gains haste until your next turn. It's not too bad. Cheers. Mythos of Snapdax. Hey, we got 2 of them. One's a nice foil. Date stamps. I'm not sure where I'd put this enchantment. I mean, because I've got 2 Mardu decks. They're both Knight-centric. I don't know. I like the pools. I like what we got. Tomorrow is when we're gonna battle it out.
And I am a newer player, so if you guys want to leave some comments and give me some pointers on which ones you want me to run, that'd be very helpful.
These cards are what she gets to work with. So if you was paying attention to what kind of deck, if you got deck tech ideas for her, yeah, let us know. And I think that will end the stream. So until tomorrow, GG.